안녕하세요. Exchange Chan Megan.
Joanne입니다. 안녕하세요. 엑스체인지 첸 22번째 시간입니다. Hello, Meg.
Hi, Meg.
Meg.
How's it going, Jen?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Mm-hmm. How was your week?
Fine.
So great.
I don't know. I mean, ups and downs.
Mm-hmm. Ups and downs, always.
Beautiful,
our life is,
beautiful sensitivity of an artist. Making a lot, doing things, moving, grooving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all good.
Good.
Yeah. How about you? How was your week?
Me, I was so busy to do a lot of laundry. Because, seasons is changing. And so I need to do laundry with a lot of, blankets.
There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
As one does. It's
we always have, 4 seasons in a year.
Yeah, here you do. I mean, I've lived in various places where there haven't always been 4 distinct seasons. I come from a place with 4 distinct seasons. I do enjoy it. But yeah, it's you gotta sort through things in a different way when you do.
Yeah, a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
when especially changing seasons.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today?
Yeah, today's topic is useful lifestyle tips for living in Seoul.
Yeah, I guess now that I've lived here a year,
maybe you guys have a lot of things to say to us.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you have more.
I have
here longer. So great. We will have 2 different perspectives. And yeah, sounds great.
So I will give you some and you can give some of yours as a foreigner, a lady living in Seoul for a while.
Yep.
First, I want to tell you about public bus and subway system in Seoul.
Okay.
Buses and subways offer a 20% discount for children, adults, and teenagers on their first ride before 6:30 a.m.
Oh.
Do you know that?
I didn't. So for everyone?
For everyone.
Before 6:30 a.m.
Just only for first ride.
Okay. When does the metro open?
Maybe 4 o'clock?
Really?
4 a.m.?
Really? I thought it
I'm
was
not sure.
later.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Do you not take the metro?
In that early hour, I don't go
out. You don't go out. See, and I don't usually go out at that time. Am I maybe coming home at that time? Maybe. But I usually walk, right? And so even if it is opening, I just haven't taken it. So I guess I just didn't pay attention because I'm just getting my head and I'm like, I'm going to walk. So, okay, yeah, I didn't know if it was before 5 or at 5.
Yeah, before 6:30.
Yeah, no, I mean opening. I didn't know if it opened before 5.
Before 5.
Maybe
like
4:30. Okay.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
4 something. Okay. So before 6:30, your first ride is...
Could be
discounted.
Get some 20% discount.
Okay, right on.
And then earlier this year, a new system called the Climate Companion Card was introduced.
Yeah, that's only like a few months ago.
Yeah, a few months ago.
It's very recent. I think it's great. I haven't needed it yet, but I think people who, foreigner, locals alike, I think is a great option.
Yeah, this is somebody who stays a little longer.
Yeah. Well, even just like a month. If you're here a whole month.
A whole month.
Is
You'd
great.
better get some.
Yeah. Well,
this card.
What is it so that people know?
Yeah.
Because we're sitting here talking about it like, yes, we know it's great. What is it?
So for a flat fee of 65,000 Korean won per month, this card allows unlimited rides on all city buses, subways, and even 따릉이.
Which
따릉이 means bike sharing service.
Yeah. Which you pay like 2,000 extra.
Yes, 2,000
so like
extra. But it's a very small amount.
Very small amount to be able to cycle is great.
So you'd better to include that.
I think so too. Unless, your body doesn't bike, and that's okay. Like you aren't able-bodied or whatever, or you just don't wanna. It's not conducive to your lifestyle. But I would put it on there. I think, why not?
Yeah, of course.
Why not?
Yeah. So, and without any restrictions on the number of rides.
Yeah, which is
it's
so
very
great.
comfortable.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's a kind of a recommendable.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you are someone who uses public transportation a lot, it will be very helpful, I think.
I think so too. I have met enough people who, because when it first started happening, there weren't a lot of them. I knew enough people, or I'm on certain just forums or whatever, and they're like they were out, like they sold out, which I think is kind of silly. I've lived in various places around the world with different metro systems, and like when I was living in Berlin, like anyone can get like a monthly card.
Anyone.
No
one.
Everyone.
Everyone.
Can. Yeah, and there's no limit on them. So when I was here and I heard that as a thing, I thought that was really weird that there were a limited amount. I think why not have enough for there to be an access for everyone? So that was weird for me to be like, why is there a limited number when I just think why not have it as even whenever you're buying a T-Money card, have it also be an option to do you want a monthly card and just top that up every month. But I think it's a great option because then you don't have to faff about with also doing the bike, also doing I haven't gotten one yet because I haven't 안녕하세요. Exchange Chan Megan.
Joanne입니다. 안녕하세요. 엑스체인지 첸 22번째 시간입니다. Hello, Meg.
Hi, Meg.
Meg.
How's it going, Jen?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
How was your week?
Fine.
So great.
I don't know. I mean, ups and downs.
Ups and downs, always.
Beautiful,
our life is,
beautiful sensitivity of an artist. Making a lot, doing things, moving, grooving. Yeah, it's all good.
Good.
How about you? How was your week?
Me, I was so busy to do a lot of laundry. Because, seasons is changing. And so I need to do laundry with a lot of, blankets.
There you are.
Yeah. Always.
As one does. It's
we always have, 4 seasons in a year.
Yeah, here you do. I mean, I've lived in various places where there haven't always been 4 distinct seasons. I come from a place with 4 distinct seasons. I do enjoy it. But yeah, it's you gotta sort through things in a different way when you do.
Yeah, a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
when especially changing seasons.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So what are we doing today?
Yeah, today's topic is useful lifestyle tips for living in Seoul.
Yeah, I guess now that I've lived here a year,
maybe you guys have a lot of things to say to us.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you have more.
I have
lived here longer. So great. We will have two different perspectives. And yeah, sounds great.
So I will give you some, and you can give some of yours as a foreigner, a lady living in Seoul for a while.
Yep.
First, I want to tell you about public bus and subway system in Seoul.
Okay.
Buses and subways offer a 20% discount for children, adults, and teenagers on their first ride before 6:30 a.m.
Oh,
Do you know that?
I didn't. So for everyone.
For everyone.
Before 6:30 a.m.
Just only for first ride.
Okay. When does the metro open?
Maybe 4 o'clock?
Really?
4 a.m.?
Really? I thought it
I'm
was
not sure.
later. I
Sorry,
thought it was like
I'm not sure.
Do you not take the metro?
In that early hour, I don't go
You don't
out.
You don't go out. See, and I don't usually go out at that time. Am I maybe coming home at that time? Maybe. But I usually walk, right? And so even if it is opening, I just haven't taken it. So I guess I just didn't pay attention because I'm just getting my head and I'm like, I'm going to walk. So, okay, yeah, I didn't know if it was before 5 or at 5.
Yeah, before 6:30.
Yeah, no, I mean opening. I didn't know if it opened before 5 or...
Before 5.
Okay,
maybe
like
before
4:30.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
4 something. Okay. So before 6:30, your first ride is
could be
discounted.
Get some 20% discount.
Okay, right on.
And then earlier this year, a new system called the Climate Companion Card was introduced.
Yeah, that's only like a few months ago.
Yeah, a few months
It's
ago.
very recent. I think it's great. I haven't needed it yet, but I think people who, foreigner, locals alike, I think is a great option.
Yeah, this is somebody who stays a little longer.
Yeah. Well, even just like a month. If you're here a whole month.
A whole month.
Is
You'd
great.
better get some.
Yeah. Well,
this card.
What is it so that people know?
Yeah.
Because we're sitting here talking about it like, yes, we know it's great. What is it?
So for a flat fee of 65,000 Korean won per month, this card allows unlimited rides on all city buses, subways, and even 따릉이.
Which
따릉이 means bike sharing service.
Yeah. Which you pay like 2,000 extra.
Yeah, 2,000
so like
extra. But it's a very small amount.
Very small amount to be able to cycle is great.
So you'd better to include that.
I think so. Unless, your body doesn't bike, and that's okay. Like you aren't able-bodied or whatever, or you just don't wanna. It's not conducive to your lifestyle. But I would put it on there. I think, why not?
Yeah, of course.
Why not?
Yeah. So, and without any restrictions on the number of rides.
Yeah, which is
it's
so
very
great.
comfortable.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's a kind of a recommendable.
Yeah, yeah.
So, if you are someone who uses public transportation a lot, it will be very helpful, I think.
I think so too. I have met enough people who, because when it first started happening, there weren't a lot of them. I knew enough people, or I'm on certain just forums or whatever, and they're like they were out, like they sold out, which I think is kind of silly. I've lived in various places around the world with different metro systems, and like when I was living in Berlin, like anyone can get like a monthly card.
Anyone.
No one. Everyone.
Everyone.
Can. Yeah, and there's no limit on them. So when I was here and I heard that as a thing, I thought that was really weird that there were a limited amount. I think why not have enough for there to be an access for everyone? So that was weird for me to be like, why is there a limited number when I just think you should. Why not have it as even whenever you're buying a T-Money card, have it also be an option to do you want a monthly card and just top that up every month. But I think it's a great option, because then you don't have to faff about with also doing the bike, also doing, you know, I haven't gotten one yet because I haven't I would be losing money as of now. My current lifestyle doesn't need to be on public transport all the time. I'm either walking or I work from home.
Yeah, you're really.
I'm walking all the fucking time.
Loving walking guy.
Yeah, and sure, is part of that to save money? Sure. Is also part of it to stay out of the gym? Sure. Is also part of it to I just I need it for my practice, for my body, for everything. Yeah. Regardless of what, I also just haven't needed to. I don't work in an office right now, so I don't need to commute every day. So, but for people who are commuting every day, I think it's great. Yeah,
so great,
so good
for them.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have one?
No, because I'm not a guy who work in company.
Yeah. And your lifestyle is also one that you don't need to be using public transport all the time. Which is great.
Not all the time, but sometimes I use.
Of course you do.
So
we've used it together. I know.
So I, as you mentioned, you're a guy who enjoys walking a lot.
Yes.
So when you walk, you usually do. What usually do?
What do I do?
What do I do? You, listening to music or
rarely
deep in thought, or some just enjoying the scenery?
A bit of all of it, but rarely do I listen to music.
Listen to music?
Rarely, because
rarely.
Yeah, I don't have music on my phone. I've lived a life in such a way.
When you are in pottery class?
Well, there's music in the pottery class. Within the studio, she has music playing.
Not you.
If I'm there alone, if I'll play music, I'll play podcasts, whatever. Get my little. I listen to like nerdy things too, so I get my little nerd time in. Whatever. But when I'm walking, I part of it is, sure, I haven't had the money to buy music for my phone. I also haven't always had a phone that has data on it. So then you can't like play YouTube. I just kind of am. I just walk. I have conversations with myself.
Conversation with
yourself.
Yeah,
like in my head, sometimes out loud. I like observing the world. It's funny you say that, because when I was in my master's course, I actually had a conversation with one of my tutors about this, how walking is a part of my artist practice. And it's a way for me to decompress. It's a way for me to contemplate, to think. It's kind of like when you know how if you're in the shower and you will all of a sudden have like an idea, and it kind of happens only because why do we have so many crazy thoughts when we're in the shower, or when we're doing these, like when we're just like cooking, right? These very seemingly mundane, not fully mundane, but automatic type experiences, activities in our lives. Walking is like that as well. It's a mechanical, semi-mechanical, continuous motion, and I think of things. So
that's the reason that a lot of philosophers enjoys that walking.
Yeah. There was a book that was recommended to me. I didn't read a ton of it, and I can't remember the name. Did I even read any of it? Maybe like a couple pages. But I was recommended a book about like how there was. I'm so bad with names and everything. How it was pretty much in defense of walking and how that is part of an artist practice, and it very much is so for mine. I've done performances where I'm walking for 12 hours, or I've done. I need walking. I've when I was living in Switzerland for a while, I literally would walk and hike for 5 hours. Like I need activity like that in my life, and walking is a big one. So once in a while, I think twice that I can think of since I've been here, I've listened to music.
Twice.
So 2 times.
2 times. Just only 2 times.
2 times. And not for the whole time I was walking. But other than that, thinking, talking to myself, watching, observing. Yeah, it's a really, I think, beautiful time to be in your own head. And sure,
right.
well, like I said, it evolved from like, oh, I didn't have the money, or oh, I don't have data to like be on my phone or whatever. But it really has like, my brain and my body are so just full of creation, and you sometimes just need those silences, those moments to just be. Yeah.
Because you just only focus on yourself,
on your thoughts,
not interrupted by anything.
Yeah, and my brain can be quite loud sometimes. My body can be quite loud, and to gift yourself that time to just be, and because I also have had not issues, but just moments and intensities of anxiety, and so things like meditation have been hard for me at times, but walking can be a moving meditation, and that works for me quite a bit. Also, if you just like need to get something out, like you're moving and you're getting it out of your body, it's really helpful, and I love it. And if I don't move enough, I go insane. Yeah, but it's even been like when you're on public transport, because I've lived in places where there's enough public transport and like trains. I also don't like being on my phone on public transport. I just kind of like sit, or I read, or I work, I knit. Like, I don't know. I just have found it was out of certain times of my life, but it's now become a beautiful part of my life of just being. And it's nice living in places with good public transport, whether I just want to walk. I'm in a city.
That's right.
Yeah.
So sometimes deep in thought in the public transportation, and then enjoy some kind of speculation time.
Yeah. I mean, I like people watching too.
Yeah.
As artists, and I think as human, but like especially as artists, you need to experience and live life. And if you're just constantly... because I've also used things as distractions, just because when you go through certain things I've gone through and just life, sometimes you don't want to feel those things. And so I've used certain distractions, but the more I heal from that, like just needing to just experience, and that can be from observing people, like people watching is great. Having experiences, being open to having an experience. And sometimes if you're only closed off on your phone, whatever, you are too closed off. And sometimes, don't bother me. I just want to be with myself. But also having time that's open is, and being open to the world and open to an experience is great. Yeah. Do you walk?
Yeah, I walk too.
Yeah?
And then, same as you, I always, enjoy some only being myself.
It's nice.
Yeah, only being myself. And sometimes, being, even though with some of my friends, I just, just to focus on myself and just to focus on ourselves.
Yeah.
Not bothered by anything. And then it's just a great time.
I think so
from
too.
my experience.
It really is. I have noticed that like I do something that maybe isn't as common for people my age. I don't always like being on my phone, especially when I'm around people, because a lot of my life I've weathered a lot of loneliness and I'm often alone. When I'm with someone, unless I like don't like them, but usually if I'm like purposely hanging out with someone, my phone is either away unless I like need to use it to talk to them about something. So it does really bother me when someone is on their phone. So if I'm on a walk with someone, for example, and it is, I love beautiful relationships where you don't always have to be talking. You can just be together. And it's just like that beauty of silence, but you can feel each other's energy and you're walking together, and then conversation happens. But I get quite because I don't often hang out with people, and so when I do, I'm like all there all the time, very much like you are my center of attention, and my thought, like so let's be in this moment. So if someone's on their phone with me, it's like so it's kind of like that with walking too, where like I'm taking this time to be on a walk. Why would I tarnish that with certain things? But I mean, music's great too. Sometimes you do just need music, and I understand sometimes being alone in thought, like I understand this from a trauma point of view. Sometimes it's hard to be in your body, and so I honor that and respect that if that is hard for people, because I know it and I weather it and I go through it sometimes. But the more I do things like just ground enough and in my body enough to be doing those things. Yeah. Also, I walk. Okay, if like talking about that, I do walk, and I'm not on public transport sometimes because like it's a lot of energy, a lot of people's energy all the time. I don't want to be around it. Like, get out of here.
And moreover, we need sometimes need some kind of a very joyful music. We do
need it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like I will.
Sure.
Yeah. I sometimes. I get in a mood and I'm just like, no, I need to dance, and I'll like put on some music and like be in my house with that, or I don't know. Yeah, you're right. We need
to be in a playful mood.
Yeah, and some of that is even deep in thought. I can be in a playful mood, deep in thought, and so it depends on the time, the day, and honoring those cycles within your body, and just being open to all of it for sure.
That's right. 네, 제가 지금 메간에게 그 우리나라의 그 교통 시스템, 그 대중교통 시스템에 대해서 좀 그 외국인들이 이용할 수 있는 기후 동행 카드라는 거에 대해서 좀 소개를 했는데요. 그 메간도 지금 잘 알고 있는 것 같아요. 굉장히 편리하게 새로운 시스템이 올 초에 출시됐잖아요. 그 65,000원으로 모든 버스와 모든 지하철과 그다음에 따릉이까지 이용할 수 있는 굉장히 좋은 시스템인데요. 근데 메간은 걷는 걸 굉장히 좋아하는 사람이라 제가 그러면 메간이 걸을 때 어떤 걸 즐기는지 좀 물어봤더니 그 혼자 있는 시간을 굉장히 잘 즐기고 있는 것 같아요. 혼자 있으면서 혼자 걸으면서 오로지 혼자니까 그 모든 집중을 자기 자신에게 할 수 있는 굉장히 귀중한 시간이잖아요. 그거를 메간도 잘 즐기고 있는 것 같습니다. 저도 가끔 그렇거든요. 근데 그걸 대중교통을 이용하거나 아니면은 혼자 걸을 때 굉장히 좋은 기회인 것 같아요. 여러분도 한번 기회 있으면 즐겨보시기 바랍니다.
Great. Thank you for saying all of that. Again, don't understand the majority. If not all of it.
You don't understand.
No, but I'll get there. But okay, the topic today was like useful lifestyle tips for living in Seoul. And before we recorded, we were talking about like how I've lived in other places that also have public transport and how they do vary. Like I said, a little miffed about the climate card that there have been. Maybe it's changed by now because I haven't needed it or looked into it enough. It would be nice if there were it was like a thing that anyone could get. Because I just, like I said, I lived in Berlin for a while and just other places. Like even when I was in Switzerland, like you can easily just anyone, like you just go and you purchase your monthly thing. There's no limit to who and how many people can do these things. And when I lived in Taiwan, that's when I first, because they also have a good metro system. That's when I first learned about how here you have like a T-Money card. Learned about that there for the first time, and that was always nice to have. So if we're talking tips and whatever, unless you're only here like a few days, just single purchases, just fine. Otherwise, I was quick enough to get a T-Money card, which has been so helpful because some inaccessible things in Seoul and in Korea are like, you have to have a Korean bank account for a lot of things, and that's when you can just like tap your credit card. But you do need it as like a foreigner. You need a T-Money card, and that's been really helpful. Is to normally you just have to use cash, which is kind of an issue I've found because not all places like I haven't been able to use an ATM here really. Like barely. So, but I have found a couple, because when you top up your card, you mostly only can use cash. But I found a couple now in the metro stations that take card and you can top up your T-Money card with your card. Great. So it's just kind of finding those little things. As someone who's traveled a lot, I've never gotten those 10-day passes, whatever day pass. I think they're a waste of money. Usually it's not worth it. Sometimes it's just more worth it to get your just pay per trip, to walk, to cycle, or get a T-Money card and just top up. I think we were also talking about how sometimes buses won't take cash anymore, which I find an issue.
I think that.
Yes, Joanne, what do we think about this?
Yeah. 네, 지금 메간이 얘기하고 있는데, 물론 우리 기후 동행 카드가 굉장히 편리한 시스템인데, 한 달 이하로 사는 그런 어떤 여행객들을 위해서는, 조금, 좀 더 보완이 돼야 하지 않나라는 얘기를 하고 있거든요. 그러니까 한 달짜리를 살 필요는 없는 거잖아요. 그러니까 뭐 열흘을 있는다든지 일주일을 있는다든지 이런 사람들을 위해서도 어떤 제한 없이 사용될 수 있는 그런 시스템이 조금 더 세밀하게 그런 제도까지 나와줬으면 하는 바람을 지금 메간이 얘기하고 있는데요. 저도 동감입니다.
They are. I like the T-Money card. There's I can't remember the name of the one in Taiwan. I think in Japan it's like a penguin card or something. I think
penguin card.
I think so. Yeah. So I like those aspects of. They are nice. It's a good option as a foreigner who doesn't have a Korean bank account yet to be able to use the public transport just easily. Yeah, and I haven't used the bike sharing system yet. There was one in Taiwan called U-Bike, which is fantastic. I think I sometimes am like, my freedom. I don't want to have to go find like a bike, like somewhere to put the bike. Like I just want my own bike, which is kind of why I walk, because you can just walk to and from and not have to stop anywhere. Anyway, but no, I think I didn't grow up in a city. You did, right? And you also saw how...
Yeah, I just grown up in the Seoul.
Yeah, and you experienced it from not having a metro system to having a metro system. So you lived through the change and how it's developed.
Yeah, at the time that I grew up, there wasn't many metro systems.
Yeah, but buses?
Yeah, buses. We only used the buses. And then at the times, there was no so complicated subway systems there.
And now there is.
Yeah, now.
But I wouldn't even call it complicated. I think it's so great, like that I can easily get to...
That means great.
Yeah. Yeah, complex, maybe.
Complex.
I can easily get to Gimpo or Incheon Airport easily, or... that even the KTX, like the train system is so easy. As someone who didn't grow up with a lot of public transport, if any, it's really nice to be living. I've lived in various places, and here now there's trains, metro, buses, and Naver is great to like use Naver maps like that. It just shows you how to go, where to go, and when you understand the bus system, it is very easy, and I would say foreigner friendly, only if you kind of know what you need to do, which is get a T-Money card, get Naver maps,
that's
right? You kind of need to have these. It's not Korea, I would say, hasn't always been foreigner friendly, and it isn't always. But it also, when you do find these little hacks, like in these little things, it can be livable, and it is very convenient. And like I said, I do love living in a city and in a place where I could get to Busan easily enough. I visited my friends in the mountains, or just get on the train. Like it was just, yeah, it's very nice.
But it has a kind of restrictions.
Some, I think, if I had a Korean bank account, if I could read more, and that's normal of like living somewhere. So I understand where it might be inaccessible to me because I don't know the language yet, and I don't have a bank account yet. So I understand it, and I accept that. I'm not saying I need to be fully. I'm not coming here going, hey, I need to be fully taken care of. No, I understand that there are things you gotta maneuver around. And like a T-Money card is great. Yeah, so there are options. There are some things where I'm like, oh, that could be more accessible if it was more knowledge, if there was more knowledge about it, and there was more. I think it's like kind of getting there, and things, we think they're accessible, they aren't. And so I just think there's like a little miscommunication on what, when something's trying to be accessible, but it's not quite, and it's still a bit restrictive. So just, I think Korea's still quite new with all this, so it's a little finagling and how does Korea want to evolve? It's just a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just on the evolving.
Yeah. Gotta learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
네. 제가 지금 메간이 하고 있는 얘기가, 그 우리나라가 굉장히 좋은 시스템 여러 가지를 갖고 있는데, 그것들이 다, 그 한국 은행 계좌를 틀 수 있거나 아니면 신용카드를 발행할 수 있는 외국인들은 그걸 다 이용할 수 있는데 그렇지 못한 외국인들도 많이 있을 거잖아요. 어떤 단기간 머물고 간다든지 아직 뱅크 어카운트를 트지 못한 그런 외국인들한테는 그냥 그림의 떡인 것 같아요. 그런 여러 가지 그 편리한 제도들이 그래서 약간의 불편함을 얘기하고 있는데요. 앞으로 보완되겠죠. 지금 우리가 이런 시스템을 갖추기 시작한 게 그리 오래된 일이 아니기 때문에 여러 가지 사항들이 더 세밀하게 더 편리하게 보완되리라 믿습니다.
Thank you. First song?
Yeah, song. 음악.
Now that I've worked out some of the kinks in my brain in my speech, here we are. Yeah, okay. Our first song is My Love, Mine, All Mine by Mitski.
Let's look into something else that's waste sorting and recycling. And so,
like the recycling and
recycling system.
And waste system.
Yeah, waste system.
Understood. Here we go. Always good to know wherever you move.
Yeah. And so our waste management is handled through a strict separation and recycling system to promote environmental sustainability. Here's how it works.
Okay.
Waste is divided into general waste, recyclables, food waste, and hazardous waste. Now, for recyclables such as plastic bottles, cans, glasses, paper, and styrofoam boxes, you residents have to use designated blue bags and collected separately and sent to recycling facilities. Food waste is collected in specialized green bags. General waste or non-recyclable waste is placed in standard garbage bags, which are collected by the city's waste management services. These are sent to landfills. And hazardous ones like batteries, electronics, and certain chemicals are classified as not safe ones. Special collection services or drop-off points are provided. And these wastes are carried out on a scheduled basis, so residents must follow specific guidelines for their timing and type of waste they dispose of. And there are also penalties for improper disposal of ensure compliance. And how about in America and, other countries you've
lived.
visited?
Well,
How are things processing in other areas?
Yeah. Well, I've been noticing this more and more. I haven't lived in the States for a long time. Right?
Yeah.
You get
understand.
it.
I understand. You're American, but left long ago.
A long time ago. And I haven't been back in a very long time. And even when I have been back in recent years, which is like, oh God.
Changed a lot.
No, I mean, it's been like 4 years since I was last there. And then before that, I was only there for like 3-4 months. And then I hadn't been for 3-4 years as well. So really in the past 10 years, I've been to the States twice.
Wow.
It's not a lot.
So few.
Not a lot, right? So when... I know you have a daughter who is living there now. And so when you're like, oh, there's a bike sharing system in Chicago, I'm like, great for Chicago. I'm glad. I don't know.
You didn't experience and you didn't heard.
Right. Well, and the last time I was in Chicago, I think I was like 18.
18.
Maybe a little older. Like long time ago. So there are lots of things that I don't know about America anymore. And I grew up in countryside. And sometimes, which I'm sure is the same here, countryside maybe takes a bit longer to get things than a city. And things function differently in a city versus countryside. But yeah.
And then I mean that, other countries doesn't mean to only America.
I know. But I've been noticing it more and more. People go, oh yeah, you're American. What's it like? I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell you.
I'm living in Seoul.
I'm living in Seoul. And the place I lived before that was Taiwan, and that's a different system. I've lived in the UK. I've lived in Germany and Switzerland, which have very rigorous recycling systems. They're very intensive. And there can be like a lot of shame if you don't put things in the right bin.
Oh,
yeah. But even like, so if we're talking about Germany, for example, or Switzerland, there's like PET, like PET type of plastic, and you can bring them to a lot of grocery stores. Will have a bottle service, and you like put the bottle in this machine, and you get some money for it.
Oh,
right. Same with your like some certain beer bottles or certain wine bottles, and you return them because there's a very rigorous recycling system around that, and you get money back. So you kind of pay like a little fee, kind of like the deposit system at the in the metro. If you're taking a single journey, you get that ticket or whatever, and it's a deposit, and you get your deposit back.
Oh, good system.
It's the same. So
good idea.
It's very nice. In Switzerland specifically, a lot of people use Nespresso capsules, and they recycle those as well. So you don't just toss them; you like kind of clean them out, and you recycle the capsules. Even like so, it's
capsules.
Yeah. Do you know
even
like
though very small one, tiny one?
Well, you know the Nespresso. Do you know Nespresso?
So small.
Oh yeah, it's a capsule, but like also they're metal and you can recycle them. And I love systems like that, right? Where they've acknowledged that even though it could be a wasteful thing, let's make it not a wasteful thing. And if you want to use these non-reuse, like it's single use, but let's recycle them. Then I love compost. I grew up in a house that didn't compost and in an area in the States that didn't compost. So now that I've lived here where there is compost, fantastic. Or if I've lived on a farm or areas where you just compost into the field, great. I love systems where you do have to this plastic or is one thing, another plastic is in another bin, metal here, glass here. Love all of that. And it's been different in each place. In the UK where I lived in Glasgow, it was just one waste, all things. You just put it all in the recycling bin. Also, okay, quick question. Where do you put a battery here in Seoul?
Battery. There is a special place.
Where is
drop
it?
off.
Yeah,
drop
and I know
off
you said that,
place.
like, where? What is it called? Because, like, I have a battery that I've had for months now, and I haven't thrown it away, and I want to put it in the.
From my knowledge, you know, I noticed that one place in the area.
Okay.
And so just right before the community center.
Okay. Okay. I think I just need to look at those two. Talking about recycling systems, I lived in Taiwan, right? And it has a very high plastic use. And I don't like living in societies that have
use a lot of plastic.
A lot of single-use plastic. I don't like living in societies that do that. But then they also have other certain recycling systems that are quite good. I did, when I was walking in Taiwan once, did see landfills. Like that, I think a lot of people
see landfills.
Yeah, I was walking in beautiful nature, and then there were garbage trucks emptying into a landfill. And I'm someone who I'm very conscious about my carbon footprint. And if there are moments where I'm not, it's because I either live in a place where I can't be, or I acknowledge that, like, oh, I need to fly, like use a flight, like use an airplane at times, takes up a lot of carbon, puts a lot of carbon in the air. And so I'm very conscious about it, and I try and do as much as I can. But I think, you know, saying all these things you did about Seoul, where I live, I haven't had to do all that. I don't know. Maybe it's even my neighbors. Like, I'll sort through my recycling, but not everyone does. And I don't use certain bags. I just kind of put it in a bag and put my recycling out. And then but I do have my designated compost and garbage bags. But I haven't needed to do the other bits. I don't know.
So you didn't use the
blue bag.
Blue bag.
No.
No.
My neighbors don't either.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And I live I see, you know, there's a lot of styrofoam.
You didn't have any trouble.
No.
Because of that.
No.
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 No one said about that.
No.
Why?
I don't know. Well, even like the styrofoam boxes, like people just pile them outside. Like they don't put them in any bags, nothing. It's just like a pile.
Why?
I don't know, Joanne. I'm just following what other people do. Or what I've been told to do by the person I live with. I do what I can, but yeah,
From my knowledge, in that case, is you got some kind of penalties from the.
No. Because all the neighbors do it too. I do what the neighbors do. And maybe I also don't have a ton of waste. Like I don't have a ton of things that a little pink, one of those little pink bags that you get from the grocery store. I go through, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't even filled one, like a small one. So I just don't have a ton of waste in general. And even like recycling stuff, I just don't have a ton. Like I don't know. Maybe that's why.
This kind of information is very common in all the country. And then, usually in apartment complex, I don't live in an apartment complex. And so that's the reason.
And I do like apartment complexes for that because when it's kind of like when I was living in Germany or Switzerland or places where it's clearly labeled. Even when I was in Taiwan, I stayed in one place where it was very clearly labeled of certain waste, and I love that. I will gladly take the time to do that. I don't want to be contributing to putting more waste where it's not supposed to be put. So I will do what I can, but maybe it's the neighborhood I live in where that's just kind of what it is. I think it might just be the neighborhood I live in because everyone's doing that. So yeah, unless the whole area is just penalized. I don't know. No one knows.
When you live in an apartment, in the case you don't follow the rules, you are to be blamed.
Yeah, and which I think is good. Like I've grown up and have been around people that like think that is an inconvenience to them. It's like, no, grow up and just take care of the earth and do things that help.
Yeah, that's right.
Is there also an argument for some places say they recycle and they actually don't? Yeah, I've encountered that as well, where they say, yeah, we're being good and we're recycling, and it's still all put in the same landfill. So there are arguments for that too. I get that. But if we can, and it shouldn't just be on the consumer to be doing this. Corporations need to be making better products that are more recyclable, sure, and the systems need to be better. But I do what I can. I also just don't think I have a lot of waste. So there's that.
네, 제가 메간에게 지금 우리나라
What is it?
그 쓰레기 분리하는 색깔이 다르잖아요. 음식물 쓰레기 봉투랑 플라스틱을 담아서 내놓는 봉투랑 여러 가지가 다 색깔이 다른데 그런 거에 대해서 약간 설명을 했더니 메간은 지금 아파트에 살고 있지 않기 때문에 그런 것들을 이웃이 잘 분리를 하지 않고 그냥 내놓더라고 얘기를 하고 있네요. 무슨 일이 일어나고 있는 건지 잘 모르겠는데요. 그런 일이 종종 일어나고 있다고 합니다. 그리고 메간도 그거를 모두 한 군데에 담아서 내놔도 뭐 다들 그렇게 하니까 자기도 쓰레기도 많지 않고 그래서 조그만 봉투에다 모두 담아서 내놔도 별 문제가 없다고 그렇게 얘기를 하고 있네요. 우리 조금 더 철저히 분리가 돼야 될 것 같죠. 자연을 위해서. 네.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think you have another music for us. Yeah.
I do. Is that all you want to is that the next thing?
Yeah, so the time is so.
Yeah, we're looking at the time. Of course, so? Yeah, we can play another song. This next one is called Violet by the band The Volunteers.
Okay.
You all
And this is the last question I missed at the end of the second part.
Okay.
Here.
I'll see if I can accommodate.
Okay. I think you are complying with this law so well. So is there anything that's causing you discomfort?
I mean, discomfort. What causes one discomfort? I think I'm used to complying, as you used, to various laws within various places. I've lived in a lot of different spaces and countries. In Seoul specifically, I mean, but it's a discomfort of my own, right? I don't speak the language as much as I would like to yet, and I can't really read. So that limits things that information I'm able to gather, certain things. I think because Seoul does like to be international in certain ways, there are things that I think are just inaccessible as a foreigner, whether it's even just being able to participate in events that you have to do a bank transfer, and you only can do the bank transfer if you have a Korean bank account, or that a lot of cards, in most cafes, like my cards work, but in some cases you just can't. It doesn't. You either have to have cash, but that like not all ATMs work, I think is an issue. I find the system about like deposit down payment for apartments very new and a bit inaccessible. And as someone who's dealt with poverty and things, and had, different fluctuations, but also seeing certain systems around the world, and I think there are some things that can be very inaccessible to people who maybe don't have